Hey guys, happy Saturday. Hey, I was just thinking, this month, January, is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Wednesday was National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, and I got to go to a conference. And there's a fella, Pasco sheriff's deputy, who's now retired. He had a very good name and reputation combating human trafficking in our area. He has also served as a pastor, kind of a little aside. But on this particular day, he went into one of these clubs, these men's clubs up on in Pasco, actually not far from me. And they were doing a bust looking for human trafficking victims. So they come in, all the stuff stops. Well, the deputy goes back and they have this VIP area. You know what I mean. Go back in the curtain, and there was a girl there with a guy, and so they start getting themselves back together. The people say, what do you want me to do with this guy? And he said, arrest him. Because human trafficking takes three people: the victim, the one who kidnaps and controls and whatever it is, and the buyer. All of them have to be held, all of them together are involved in human trafficking. So he saw the buyer that purchased this human, so he said arrest him. But then they asked him, what do you want to do with the girl? So he talked to her for a minute. And she was crying. She said, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be arrested. But she also told him, please don't let my kids find out what I do. And it struck him at this particular time. There's discussion out there that sometimes this is a choice. There is no choice. Do not let my kids find out what I do. And then she started crying again because he helped her. But he asked a question. It's like, I can't remember the exact phrase that he used, but it came out from the girl. It was nice to be noticed. It was nice to be seen. Because he talked to her and noticed her and treated her like the young lady she was. Those of you who know me, I pastor Compass, the Church and Laundromat. That's what this whole thing is that I do here. To show people their value and worth. They matter in this world. They make a difference. I know that. God knows that. I need them to know that. So when this was said, it struck me. And nobody noticed her. There's a verse, and that's what I was thinking about. In Acts chapter 3, the book of Acts is kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it's called the Acts of the Apostles. It's a story of the early Christian church. It's been called the book of the Acts of the Holy Spirit. But it's really just a history of the beginning of the Christian church. And in normal terms, that's what the book of Acts is. How God, Jesus, raised from the dead, ascended up into heaven, Holy Spirit came down, and the church started through these men and women. But in Acts chapter 3, there's a story about two of the Jesus' disciples, two of the apostles, Peter and John. And it said they were going up to the temple in Jerusalem. And there was a lame man. This guy was crippled up from birth, who used to sit at the Beautiful Gate, one of the gates into the city of Jerusalem, and begged. And what's interesting, this is in verse 2. It says, and a man lame from birth was being carried up, who was placed at the temple gate called Beautiful Gate every day, so he could beg for money from those going into the temple courts. So he had friends who would carry him there so he could sit there and get enough money so he could survive. When he saw Peter and John about going to temple courts, he asked them for money. What's interesting is, listen to this next verse. Verse 4, excuse me. Peter looked directly at him, as did John, and said, "Look at us." So he wouldn't even look people in the eye because he knew he was invisible. So the lame man paid attention to them, expecting to receive something from him. But Peter said, "I have no silver or gold, but what I do have, I give you." And it goes on and it says, "In the name of God, the Holy Spirit, rise up and walk." And his feet, ankles were strengthened, and he got up and walked. But what I find interesting, in light of this girl's story I heard Wednesday, in light of Human Trafficking Awareness Month, is when Peter and John said, "Look at me." He was not invisible to them. He was valuable to them. He was valuable to God. So as we have a chance and opportunity, look at these people around us who are invisible, and especially during this month. Notice these folks. Show them that they matter. They make a difference in this world. They're valuable. You know, it's a neat message. And it's a simple thing we can do. I hope you join with me. All right, guys, remember, check us out. Follow us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at FL Compass Church. And check out all the updates, www.flcompasschurch.org. And starting today, we have started a group on Facebook. It's called Church Happy Hour. Place to come, hang out, check us out, leave a question, leave comments. It's just a place to come hang out. I'll be checking this. Fridays I'm going to be, or excuse me, Saturdays I'm going to be there. Ask those questions you're never allowed to ask in church. Share your thoughts on what's said. Church Happy Hour, check it out. New group of FL Compass Church on Facebook. All right, guys, be blessed. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you Wednesday.